Pamela Salzman. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm glad you're joining me for today's cooking class because we are making a very popular recipe right now, which are cauliflower crust pizzas. You heard it right. We're going to be making a pizza crust out of cauliflower. There are no grains involved, and even though it seems like cauliflower is being really hyped up, I've got to say, I'm in. I love it. It's so good for you, and obviously it's going to be way better for you than bread, flour made from grains, all that. Too many carbs in that. Gets converted to sugar so fast. So why not use cauliflower? Yeah, it's not gonna be exactly the same, but it's really, really delicious unto itself. Okay, the first thing you wanna do is preheat a pizza stone, preferably in your oven, really, really hot. You want it to be so hot because you really want this crust to crisp up and hold its shape. If you don't have a pizza stone, no problem, just use like a baking sheet or something like that. But we're talking like 450 degrees. Okay, next onto the cauliflower. When I used to make this recipe, I used a whole head of cauliflower. I would rice it myself in the food processor, steam it, wait for it to cool, squeeze it out, forget it. That is too labor intensive. Every supermarket in America has riced cauliflower now in the freezer section. Go grab a bag of that. It's very affordable. Defrost it and then squeeze out the water and you are ready to move on with the recipe. Way easier. So what you're gonna do is take that squeezed out riced cauliflower, put it in a bowl, and you're gonna add the following ingredients. You're gonna add in a pinch of salt. If you find that there's salt in your frozen cauliflower bag, look on the ingredient label, then skip the salt. Some dried oregano, a little garlic powder, a pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. I like to add a quarter of a cup of either grated Parmesan. I personally prefer Pecorino Romano because it's sheep's milk cheese, and then a quarter of a cup of shredded mozzarella. Then I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of almond meal or almond flour, whichever you prefer, and 2 egg whites that have been lightly beaten with a fork. If you want to use a whole egg, totally fine, but the 2 egg whites I find keep this a little bit lighter and a little bit crispier. Once you have your mixture all together, you're going to take a piece of unbleached parchment paper and grease it with a little bit of olive oil. Take the mixture, put it down on the parchment, and then pat it into a circle. I like to do about a 10-inch circle, but you can do whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be a circle. Now, transfer the parchment paper to your preheated pizza stone, and you're gonna bake this in the oven for about 15 minutes until the crust starts to turn golden brown. Then you'll remove it from the oven, put on whatever toppings you like, and then place it back in the oven and cook for another 7 minutes until the cheese is melted and bubbly. And then allow it to cool slightly and serve. So I think you'll love this recipe. You can even make the crust a day ahead of time if you want to, untopped, and they're just pre-baked, and then you can like get home from work the next day and then pop them in the oven, and I think you will really love them. For any other questions that you have about this recipe, just hit me below in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you next week back in the kitchen.